Hey, trendsetters. Hey, trendsetters. I'm here. Why you didn't change that from iPhone to put your name in it?
Oh, I
I'm here
keep
with the
forgetting.
dynamic Reinilda Perez. She's a singer. She's a philanthropist. She's a cancer survivor. She's just dope, y'all. She's just dope. Let me tell y'all, people really need to come out more. I met Relinda, they call her Rain, right? So I met Rain at an event that Visit Canarsie was hosting. He had a bunch of vendors in Canarsie community come out, and Rain was out there with her dope ass t-shirts. Look at the sweater that she made, y'all. Look at the sweater that she made. She was out there, and as a matter of fact, we started hustling. Remember, we was dancing and whatnot,
Yeah,
even before we even began to talk. We
right.
didn't we was out there dancing and enjoying one another and enjoying a nice day
It was beautiful.
outside. It was beautiful. Everything was so nice. There was so much unity in the community. Thank you, Visit Canarsie and Calvin Sinan, for having that event, for hosting that event. It was dope. It was dope. And you walk down a block and somebody else was doing poetry.
Right.
It just, we had live music. It was really crazy. He really did their thing that day. But anyway, anyway, back to how we met, and we began talking and we were embracing, and she was like, "Hey, I'm Rain." And I was like, "That's my daughter's name." And we began sharing our story, and she told me that she was a cancer survivor. And you guys know that I survived cancer as well. And it was like, oh my gosh. And then it just flourished from there. That's all
Yeah.
I could say. It just flourished for there. She gave me this dope t-shirt, which I was gonna wear today. I told her I had to wear something bright to match her energy, because she's so dynamic that, I just didn't want anything. I just wanted to match what she brings. Like I told her before we jumped on, God does amazing, amazing things. And, just to have these conversations are really important. She told me that she started a nonprofit since, we last spoke, and she's going to talk to you guys more about that. But welcome, Relinda, welcome, Rain. How
Thank
you doing? There's so much information. There's so much stuff that
Yeah.
peel about your life. I don't know how you want to do it. Let's just build it up. Who
Okay.
are you, girl? Why?
That's a great question.
Hmm.
I'm God's chosen. I want to believe that I'm
All
God.
the day.
Yes, yes. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, Bushwick to be exact.
Brooklyn and
Yeah,
high.
yeah. My mom is your color.
Oh.
She's a chocolate bunny. She's so cute, and she raised us to just be good people. She's always working very
Did a
hard.
good job. She did a
Yeah,
good.
she always. So I got a lot of. I realized I have a lot of my. I didn't realize as a teenager, as a young lady, that I got a lot of my kindness and my big heart from my mom. And so she's still the same person, always giving stuff away, always helping everybody in the neighborhood. My mother used to run the garden in our neighborhood. And I was 10 years old learning how to rake and do all kinds of gardening. I don't like gardening, but I did it when she told me to do it. That's her thing. I love to sing since I was 10 years old. And I wasn't using my voice my whole life um, until about 5 years ago, and something tragic happened, but so many tragedies have happened in my life, and I'm learning that from someone taught me that it's called Phoenix Rising. So when you think that you're actually, God is like, you feel like your life is over, it's just really beginning. So I didn't realize that all that stuff that was happening to me was happening for me to be
Yeah.
who I am today. So I equated to, I was diagnosed HIV positive at the age of 30 through a marriage that I was in, and he claims he didn't know. And so that was the first punch in the stomach, I want to say. That's what I call it. And Les Brown says, if you can get up, if you can look up, get up. So I got up. I didn't let it devastate me too much because I really didn't understand it. But I realized later that I was very blessed to still be present because it's been 19 years. And when that came out, it wasn't such a good turn out,
Right.
right? People didn't make it past. So,
Right.
so now I talk about it more openly. There was a time in my life I was ashamed of it. And now I'm not. I talk about it freely because you never know when somebody's going through and they need to hear your testimony, your story, so they can get through. I realized that the stories that happened to me were not just for me, but for me to help other people. So when you met me in the Living Your Best Life, moving forward, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at 33. I had 6 months of chemo at Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital.
That's right.
I
That's where I
was,
got treated.
yeah, I thought I was good, and I was working for the School Safety Division Police Department for about 16 years, and not at that time, but I was working for them at that time. So I don't remember what year it was, but I went back to work, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm fine. And then 5 years later, still working the job, I came back. But during that time, I had opened a music recording studio because I love my own business. I love having my own business, and my partner, she was like, I want to open a recording studio. My brother was an engineer at the time, and I was like, let's give it a shot. So we started in the basement, and telling you, like, it took off. I did that for 7 years while I was in the police department, while I was battling cancer. It's just everything going on. I don't know. God gave me this strength that I don't really understand all the time. It's this
Yeah.
power is like, wow. So I'm very careful with my words. I'm very careful with, when I talk to people, because I realize that I have an impact on people. So I want it to be positive. I always want people to leave me feeling better than when they came. So the t-shirt that you saw, Living Your Best Life, was
Yes.
when the pandemic came in. My partner lost her life to COVID, and then I lost the business. And
Wow.
so I lost a lot of income, and I had to go stay with my aunt in Canarsie. so so look at
Hence,
God,
that's what,
right?
yeah,
Look at
right,
God. I didn't know. And
right.
then a friend of mine had gifted me a heat press machine and a Cricut, which I got good at. And I started making t-shirts, and I was like, nobody's gonna buy t-shirts from me. Like, I don't understand. And it was something that God put in my heart, I guess. And I put Living Your Best Life because I was so fed up with everything that already happened to me. I
Absolutely.
was like, I'm just gonna live my best life, and I'm gonna teach everybody to live their best life, because my partner, when she passed, she was 32 years
Wow.
age. I had
Wow.
another friend named Sasha Wilshire, that when I was in the second battle with my cancer, I had got diagnosed the second time when in 2015. It was in my neck. The first time it was a lump under my arm. The second time it was in my neck, and it was so obvious. I was at work. I was in a lot of pain. And my friend called me. May she rest in peace. She was also a breast cancer survivor. And this
Wow.
time she was just like, I was on her heart, and she just called me to check on me. And she said, clock out and go to the doctor. So I did, and they found out it was cancer the second time. Because I relapsed, it's called relapse when you have cancer the second time, the same
Yes.
type,
Mhm.
they opted for a stem cell transplant, which, mind you, costs $100,000.
Right.
I had no idea the
Right.
cost because I was going through so much turmoil. But when they put me in the hospital, I fought 31 days to be present. So this is why I turn up every single day. So living your best life when it comes to the nonprofit is just, I tell people, live your best life how you feel comfortable. It's not about the other person. It's about how you might just like the pink shirt and the band on your head to make you feel good, or a nice song, or a nice meal, or time with your family. That's living your best life, because the moments
Absolutely.
is
Absolutely.
what counts. It's
Yes.
not about, we all of us want to be successful. Listen, I'm still not where I want to be, right? But it's not when I get to the destination, it's in the journey. So
Yeah.
people have to understand that you have to enjoy your life every single day, because every breath in your lungs, every time you have the ability to wake up and live, that's a big deal. And people don't equate that, because we think we're going to be here forever. And that's not true. The persons that we lost thought the same thing, and they had plans for the future, and their plans got cut short for whatever reason. We all have a day that we're going to exit. And so in the meantime, in between time, I want to use the rest of my life to help whomever I can, whether it be a child, whether it be a young adult, whether it be a older person. It doesn't matter the age, because I believe we all got a kid in us anyway.
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
I just cater to humans, God's children. It doesn't matter where you come from. I don't care what culture you are. We're all humans seeking the same thing. We want
Right.
greatness. We want to be successful. We want to spend time with our families. We want to eat good food. we want to turn up when the music is on, you know, we want to go to shows. And so I pray that God will continue to allow my hour, because Dan's helping me too, my guy. God gave me love again, a gentleman. He's very kind, very God fearing, and he is a chef and an off premises caterer. So I've been helping with him serve some people here and there, and I've never done that before. So all these things I'm doing are brand new, and the singing I've taken a little bit more to the next level. And I did an inspirational show September 21st in
Oh,
Rockville at a church called Lutheran. It was really nice, and people were like, "You
nice.
made me cry," and then Stan cooked for everybody. I
Oh,
thought 8 people
wow.
were gonna show up. I really wasn't sure. 50 people showed up.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, "This is crazy." And I have another show this Saturday. The same gentleman owns a warehouse in how do you call it when you do furniture? That is, somebody gives you a design and you create it. I forget what the name of it is, but he does this all over the world. And he's a pastor, his name is Morris, and he
Okay.
has a business called Plaza Park Interiors, and they have this white room. And the reason they call it white room is because all the furniture is plush and it's all white. So he
Wow.
said, Rain, would you do another inspirational show at my place? So I'm doing a show this Saturday. So
Oh,
his
wow.
daughter, they're like in their 20s. They're inspired by me, the older people. So, like I said, it doesn't matter. People just want to feel happy.
Happy. That's
They
what the
just want to feel
t-shirt is.
happy.
That's why I put on my happiness t-shirt because I knew I was coming on with you and
They just want to feel happy.
you just have this spirit about you that just leaves people in such a good space. And it was just funny that when I met you, you gave me that living your best life t-shirt because it was just so on time. You know, I was at a last summer, was it the summer before when I met you? Was just when we started getting out there, my battle with cancer too, and just me stepping out and getting familiar with the community and meeting people like yourself and so many other people. That's why I keep telling people, y'all come outside, come outside. Summer's around the corner. Don't worry about it. It's cold now. Come outside. There's some dope people in our communities and these things are free. Everything that you see me attend
Free.
is free. They have such great things. They post them on social media all the time. Come outside, start to get involved with your community. Anyway, back to you, Rain. Um, take us. I'm gonna go back on different parts of that story that you gave us because you kind of rattled off a whole
I
lot.
know. It's a lot.
Let's just let's start with your diagnosis of HIV.
Okay.
Okay. What made you even get to that point that you wanted to get tested? You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
HIV is something that we still live with today. There's people that are still being infected up until this day. You
Wow.
understand what
So,
I'm
yeah.
saying? So and it's the young generation is different components. Back then it was, what it was, but this time, no, it's still at an alarming rate in some places right here in America.
No, it's not.
So talk to us a little bit, make us more aware of that whole process and that whole journey before
So,
some of us that really don't understand what does that entail.
if I could be clear with it, it wasn't me volunteering to take a test. It was initial. Well, it was after my ex-husband got sick. He got sick, and that's when it equated to it was time for me to be tested. So I was married at 28, and he got sick when I was 30 years old. And he got like so sick that he had to be rushed to the hospital. We didn't know what was going on. So he claims that he didn't know what was inside of him. He didn't know. I don't know. Sometimes people don't get tested. I can't tell you the real story because I'm not God, but I believed him because we were in love. We were together for about maybe 6 years already when this happened. So 8 years. So when he got sick, he had these like boils on his head. I wrote a story about it too. And it looked abnormal, you know? So I rushed him to the hospital with a fever, and they told me if I didn't take him to the hospital, he probably wouldn't have made it, because we have T cells in our body, and the healthy people have 1,500, and it attacks your T cells, right?
Right.
The disease, right?
Disease.
So when he was in the hospital for about a week, he found out that he was positive, and that's when he said the doctor told him I needed to be tested. It didn't even dawn on me that, because I'm very loving and I loved him, you know? So I was just concerned about his health. I didn't think about me at all because I was healthy. I was fine. Nothing was wrong with me, you know? But that's the thing. You can't tell by looking at somebody, because nobody right today, if I don't tell you, you would never know because I look
Right.
healthy, right?
Right.
So it doesn't have a look. You understand? He looked healthy too before it actually crept up with him because he didn't know what was going on. So they sent me to the PATH Center downtown Brooklyn, and I like the PATH Center a lot. They do a lot of services there, in the Brooklyn Hospital. And
Okay.
I mean, you have to go to a peer counselor, and they give you a rapid test for like 20 minutes. And I went in and got tested, and it was that quick. I found that I was positive, and then I was like, wow, like I couldn't believe, like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh. I used to say as a young girl, because I'm from Bushwick, and you know, you only know what you've learned in your household. So I was like, I thought I was safe. Like I'm married, you know, I'm living my life, and with one person. No, it doesn't even matter. Like it didn't even matter. It's just
Wow.
it still hit me. So when I was diagnosed, I pretty much, I guess I've always been strong, maybe like I said from my mom. So I took it in, like, all right, well, what's next? But at the same time, there's nights where I cried, like I got, you know, like, wow, this happened to me. And it's been 19 years now. So of course I've understood that I have to take medicine every day and things of that nature. I wouldn't wish this on anybody though. So if I could talk to some young people, I would tell them, if they could hear this interview, please protect yourself at all costs, because, or if you decide you're going to get married, both of you guys get tested, because I think if that would have happened, I would have known, but I didn't think about that because I wasn't taught that. So when you're taught things and you hear it from, you know, they say the smart people learn from other people's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be hard-headed and go through and say, oh, I got this, because that's not the mood. That's not the way. It is best to get tested, and so you know what you're getting into, even before you get married. If you
Right.
decide, because a lot of people get together before they get married, let's
Right.
be honest, these young people, right? So if that's the case, you know who you're laying down with, because it's so
Right.
important. You don't
And
want
get
to live with this for the rest of your life. It's livable, but it's not fun. We have to take medicine. The medicine is really expensive. It can go from 3,500 to 4,000 a month, and I'm not paying for it. Thank God. God is covering it with my coverage. But I hear like New York has like one of the best coverages, and it's called ADAP. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it helps cover the medicine if you qualify. So there's so many things you have to deal with, and then the stigma on your own self, because there was a time where I was like, man, why did this happen to me? And I didn't feel like enough. I felt like I was a germ. I felt like,
Mm.
and then I had gotten divorced with him for other reasons. It had nothing to do with that, because I stayed with him. I literally was like, when he was in the hospital bed, I was like, okay, love. So we thought he was gonna pass away, because that was the I guess the notion that we believe if somebody's diagnosed and boom, they're gonna pass. He's still alive today, so that's not true.
Wow.
Medicine has changed. He was on two T cells, and they said if he would have waited longer, he might have had
2 out of 1,500.
2 out of 1,500. So luckily, I was, took him to the hospital, and it pretty much saved his life. But yeah, now with the medicines that we take, uh, it leaves you basically undetectable. And so I was just with my doctor the other day, and he said, undetectable. But literally the chart says like no HIV is showing because of the medicine. And then if you're with someone and the person is taking medicine for 6 months, it's untransferable. So things have changed drastically.
Wow.
Yeah, but that person has to be good with taking the medicine. Now, if you're with someone who's positive and you're not positive, there's also another medicine that to prevent the person from getting it. So I know this much up until this point, and I feel fine. I roller skate, I dance, I sing, I do all the things that a human does, a regular human that's not positive, you know. And people like, I said, I turn up more than regular people. I said because I faced so many things that I'm like, I'm 49 in May. I don't know if I have another 49 years. So why not live your life, right? So that's what I
Right.
do. That's why every day when I
Absolutely.
wake up, I
Absolutely.
was in the hospital, and I was when I had the stem cell transplant, I had a pole attached to me for 31 days. I would have to sleep with it. I would have to get up. The nurses would have to be there when I was taking a shower. And I remember all those things. So I don't forget what God has brought me through. And I think that's why I'm at the point where I just celebrate rep God all the time. I'm like, okay, God, I got you.
Yeah, because won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? You got to give God his praise and his
Amen.
glory every second of the day.
Every second.
Every second of the day. I find myself in here, even when I get mad, I turn to him and say, God, thank you. Thank you, even for the fact that I had something to piss me off. Because
Trust
it
me, I have my
directs me.
moments.
It gave me, sometimes something to piss me off, but it'll get me energized to go back and do the work that I was procrastinating from
Amen.
before. So
As a matter of fact, I was at an open mic last night that my guy and me are hosting. It's a black owned business in Crown Heights called Yummies. And
okay.
we're hosting and we have these like awesome. So my guy has a past
They
of,
got yummies all over the place. Yummies on
yeah, Yummies
Utica,
on
yummies.
Nostrand off of
Okay, go
Atlantic.
ahead.
I'm trying
North
706 Nostrand. 706.
706 Nostrand, she said off of Atlantic. Okay, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
One of the things that I do want us to talk about as well. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that information about HIV and that whole journey. But then you went into two more battles. You know, the grief of losing a partner is one thing.
Crazy.
And then now we go into a cancer diagnosis.
Yes. By the time
So
I
let's talk about your first diagnosis.
first one. Okay, so I remember coming home from work. I worked for school
What
safety.
kind of cancer was it?
It was called Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's in your lymph.
Explain that.
It's so we have these like lymph nodes all in like glands in here and all in here. It looks like branches. I would describe it as that, and that's where the cancer was. It was underneath the gland in my arm under armpit. I was resting after work because my job was very stressful. New York City police department, school safety division. I worked with kids for 16 years. So I came home, I was tired, exhausted, and I remember getting like a sharp pain. Like I went up here, and when I felt it, that's when I grabbed from under my arm and I felt the lump. It was a lump like
Okay.
kind
Okay.
of wide and it was sticking out. And I was always chunky, but I was like, this don't feel right. So I went to the doctor, and Dr. Morgan, she was amazing. She said she thought it was an abscess. She didn't know at first. So she
Okay.
treated it as such, gave me antibiotics. 10 days later, I came back. I said, it didn't move. She said, oh, no, no, no. You need a biopsy, rapid. So I got it. And then I had to wait 2 weeks. And my family's praying. Everybody's praying, because everybody thinks praying heals everything. Like, I know it's
Yeah.
good,
Right.
but
Yeah.
sometimes you got to go through the fire, right? So she told me you have Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it was 2 weeks later. So cancer hit me hard. I was crying. I was like, why is this happening? I pray. I always trust God no matter what. So she told me, somebody told me, my ex mother in law, she was like, you should go to a hospital where they treat cancer solely. And that's why I wound up at Memorial Sloan Kettering.
And again,
Yeah.
we MSK sisters,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we share that same, but they saved my life. I mean,
My life too.
that's the only thing that I can say. You understand what I'm saying? The treatment, the doctors, the information, the care was
It was beautiful.
phenomenal. It was nothing that I've ever experienced before.
No.
Nothing that I've ever experienced before. They
No.
made this journey, they did their best to put every single support in necessary to help you, to ease you through, to make this as comfortable as possible. And I thank Memorial Sloan Kettering for being that for me and having such a dynamic team of nurses and staff and
Right.
everybody from the kitchen go up, because I
Yeah.
stayed in there for 2 months. I had part of my journey battle of my own was I stayed in the hospital, I was hospitalized for 2 months. Immediately, instantaneously, I'll tell, the fast forward version of this story was my first time going to MSK, I collapsed and I stayed for 2 months.
Wow.
And I was back and forth and back and forth and in and out the hospital. But
Look at
that was
you
my,
now. Wow.
yeah, I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life, girl. I'm living my best life.
I'm
Woo, woo,
telling you,
woo,
the
woo.
community that we gonna start, I'm telling you, I already feel it. God
The
already.
community that we have already. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that trauma time sometimes turns people's lights off, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're gonna shine your light, and their light is gonna be like, wait, what's up? Remember this, and then you're gonna start, that person's gonna start feeling good again. They're gonna remember how to feel good again.
Amen.
You understand what
Amen.
I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about making us remember who we are and what we got inside of us and ignite it.
I like it a
And
lot.
ignite it, ignite it. Start those fires. You
What is
said
it?
the
Is it
phoenix, right? I got a phoenix up for my what's that? The picture of is the phoenix. My picture is a phoenix.
no way?
Yeah, if you go and check it, my Facebook picture is a phoenix.
I gotta see that. That's
Yeah, and so when you told me the story, I was chuckling in my head because I coined myself the phoenix because of all of the shit that I done been through and lived through, and God, But long story short, so I completely, I'm saying all that to say, I completely get it. I completely get it, girl. I completely get it.
oh,
Life be life, and sometimes, and
life.
you just gotta make lemon out of lemonade.
The
But you
more I
gotta
share my story, I notice that people are comfortable sharing their story with me, whether it be a cancer story or whether it be some type of abuse they've been through or whether it be HIV too.
yeah.
I keep all that to myself. I don't disclose anybody's information, but because I'm so comfortable with it, people felt comfortable talking to me about it, which I think is pretty cool, because if you lock that stuff inside of you, it becomes very toxic. So you need to release, you need to confide in somebody that's not going to tell your business because people just be talking. You be like, oh my God.
When I came back out into the community, it was a two-for, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because what happened in our community made us isolate was the ego. Shame and embarrassment took over, and those things are egotistical things. We stopped telling one another our business because we were afraid of people talking our business. You understand what I'm saying? But we really needed help, and things didn't have to go down so bad. You didn't have to sit in the house and things get so bad. It's so bad with your kids, so bad with your marriage. If you would have just opened up your mouth and just had a conversation with somebody, regardless of who they go out and tell, if you're gonna ask for help, you gotta take the L on your ego, bro.
Yes. Yes. But people need to feel like
And
safe,
one of the things that you said that was important is when you share your story, you release yourself of the ego. The story is embarrassing. My story is embarrassing. I can't see my ass.
No way. So funny.
So I'm like, there, I had doctors pushing all kind of things in my rectum. Yo, nah,
Oh,
girl.
mm.
No.
Ah, poor
No.
baby.
You understand what I'm saying? So the story, like, what kind of cancer you had? At first I was like,
Right. But it can come anywhere.
But I had to say what it was. It was in, and it wasn't a play. It's not easy.
That doesn't sound easy. That's very sensitive area.
It's not easy talking about it. It's not even talking about getting past the stigmas of having cancer.
Yes. I know.
You understand what I'm
But I
saying?
have friends that didn't make it. Like my friend just passed away recently, and I don't even remember her smoking or anything. I was like, I didn't get it. She was an agent for many years, didn't even get a chance to retire. The other friend, Stacia Wilshire, battled breast cancer, won, and then went in for some type of mass surgery to remove something, and she passed. She had 3 kids. I had cancer remorse for a long time because God didn't give me any of my own children biologically. So I was like, I didn't understand. I was like, oh, what? I'm so like loving. I was like, God, why you didn't take me and keep her?
Right,
She had her
because you
kids.
do feel
Yeah,
undeserving. You
yeah.
do feel
I felt it.
undeserving.
Like,
I
dang.
was battling when Chadwick Boseman was battling Black Panther,
Oh
and
wow.
we had the same colorectal cancer. He died while I was fighting for my life, and
Same thing happened.
you know, me personally, I was like, wow, God, you know, like you took this guy.
Right.
You understand
That's
what
how
I'm
I
saying?
felt the same way about my friend. Wow.
And I was like,
Wow.
wow, you know, that if, and that's why it was important for me to live my best life moving forward and give back to my community because, you know, if God purposed me for life, then I'm purposed for his people
Yeah.
because he doesn't love anything more than his people, right?
No. Right.
So if he gave me life, he gave me a life for you guys. And that's what, you know, I'm trying I'm absolutely out here doing it. I'm not even trying anything, whatever it
He's
is,
doing it.
whatever it is, whatever it is,
He's
God,
doing
he'll fix it. He'll make whatever it is
He
into
will fix
whatever it is supposed to be.
a
You
lot
understand?
of times we want it to look how we think it should look, and it's not his plan.
Right.
So that's why a lot of times I just stay quiet and patient and wait because
Yeah.
I know his plan. They say you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Girl.
Because we got all these plans. And he like,
Oh
oh,
no, then I had him on his back a couple of times, kicking. You know, you laugh till your ribs hurt. God got a good chuckle from me a couple of times trying to work things out my way. That's why I ended up on my behind, literally.
yeah, me too. I lost everything to the pandemic. But
Yeah.
I wound up meeting you because I wound up in Canarsie. And I'm telling you, the only reason I left is because it wasn't my home. But I
Mm.
loved Canarsie. The culture, the people, everybody was cool. Everybody welcomed me. Miss Noreen, she's wonderful.
Yes,
The
yes, yes,
barbershop that I was in front of, Sensei's barbershop, I think it's called Next Studio or something.
yes,
He's such a
yes.
cool man, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had met him that day that we were outside in
Yeah.
front of the, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
went back another time because he called me up. He was like, "Would you like to sell your t-shirts again?" So
Oh, wow, that's great.
I
That's
wound up
great.
out there twice. But that's my aunt's neighborhood. She loves it there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's why we out there trying to get the groundwork up. We trying to get a community center out in Canarsie. You guys listening? Come on,
let's
Canarsie.
go.
Get this community center up there. These kids, we can't be keep burying our kids. We can't keep doing what we doing out there in Canarsie. We need a community center. So let's go. Let's get this thing done. You know, Linda, you battled again. I want to
Yeah,
talk to you about what headspace was you in when you found out that this thing came back, girl?
I think I was screaming this time. I was like, Jesus, I cannot take it for a second time. Like
Mm,
really, like come on. Like
mm,
I was like, this is a lot, Jesus. Like
mm.
the second time, I didn't feel anything except I had gotten a cold and my glands. All of us sometimes our glands could swell up a little bit. Well,
Yeah.
mine was there for 30 days, and I felt pain. So I went to like one of those ERs and they kept saying,
Mhm,
oh,
mhm.
it'll go away. It wasn't going away. So my headspace was like, this cannot be what I think it is. It cannot be. And one of the doctors in the ER, he said, go to your oncologist. They tested it again and it was cancer for the second time. I was like, I'm so exhausted. I was so tired. I was like, I don't know if I could do this again, for real. And
Yeah.
I did it. They gave me chemo again, but they said, because you relapsed, we got to give you a stem cell transplant. And I didn't know what that was, and they prepared me for it. And my partner was alive at the time, She and I were crying from everything that they said would I would have to go through. Um, but on a good note, I guess I finally accepted it and went into the hospital. They make you pack your clothes as if you're going on vacation, which is pretty cool. And so
Mhm.
every morning you have to get up and take a shower and get
Mhm.
yourselves attached to a pole. The good thing was my partner was really cool, fun, loving, young black woman, and she um, put plugins in the hospital room.
Mhm.
We had a projector, so we had movies. So you had to do a lot of things, and I'm learning that now, even still, that you have to like see yourself healthy, see yourself in the position that
Okay.
you rather be in than the position that you're in. So I'm learning that I've done that a lot of times. And in the hospital, I kept thinking about Christmas because I went in September, and
Mhm.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. So I kept seeing myself celebrating Christmas. I asked God to give me the diagnosis of cancer free, and literally 2015, I got diagnosed cancer
Oh,
free.
wow.
So I don't know where I got all this positive mindset from, but I've learned it over the years and it really does help. So anybody that sees this, you're going through anything, just know that whatever you're going through is temporary and this too shall pass and things will improve. And sometimes you're going through it because I believe that, like the Bible, right? I'm not really religious and stuff like that, but I do like the stories of the Bible. I do believe they equate because you and I right now are walking, living testimony.
Absolutely,
We're
absolutely. We could
walking,
write our own
we
parts of
are
the Bible. We 2025 Bible now, you know, and
we're
everybody has their own story, and that's why we got Trendsetters Talk. Trendsetters Talk is to have the conversation so that people could share their stories because we isolate, we get caught up, and we think it's we the only one. No, we all going through something. It's just different journeys, you know.
and I would like to educate people if I may. When my partner passed, she was 32, no insurance. Yeah, nobody expected that, and so that's what I think about with us as our culture. We don't talk about that part of life that is going to end one day, and you should have your stuff in place because
Mm,
the reality is those hard conversations are needed
yes,
because
yes.
if something happens, you should know. I know it's a hard conversation to have, but I think it's worse than you not having the conversation because it's something that somebody you love passes and you don't know their last wishes and you're just scattering all over the place because you didn't expect it. No insurance. A lot of people are doing GoFundMe's. No offense to anybody, but we should be prepared. You know?
Right. We need to get our things in order because we witness life sometimes, you know, and we don't want, and you went through it, Relinda,
I
when
went through it. It
you
was
went through it. You understand what
terrible.
I'm saying? And we can all use your example and so many other people's example. You're not the only one. We're in
Right.
a community where people die and then people throw up a GoFundMe page. You know, we need to get insurance. As a matter of fact, Relinda, come jump on. I'm going to be on next week, Friday, with my bishop. He's doing an insurance
Nice.
workshop. Okay, so yeah, he's doing phenomenal things in regards to trying to educate our people
Right.
to get insurance. This is something that we don't talk about, really and truly. It's something that we,
And a lot of people in my position, like right now, have rejected me to get insurance because of my health condition.
right,
Yeah, they told me I can't get anything till like I'm 50 or something,
right,
which I'll be
right,
59 this year. But still,
right.
what if I pass before that? So I laugh about it because the reality is people think they're gonna be here like forever. I'm like, no, you're gonna have an end date, sweetheart. So my man and I were thinking, which he's experienced before at Memorial Zone, where they do this talk life over dinner, and you
Okay,
literally have your loved ones there, and you actually share what your wishes would be versus waiting till something happens and you never got to share that. So I think it's gonna be really nice moving forward when we get to do this for people.
yes,
And then
yes.
we should have people that can actually give insurance, give them help them get insurance in the room because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
the severity of it, it's not fun to get caught. It happened to me and it hurt. When she passed, I could have been left with a lot of money, which would have helped me sustain my life.
Yeah, and you could have saved your studio.
I could have saved my studio. I lost everything because I didn't have enough money. So, and you know, the income was lost. I lost my apartment. It was just, everything went downhill. So I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I would say, if you hear my story and you like, wow, she lost somebody, you too can experience the same thing. And I would like you to be prepared because it's not fun. And then the people don't even know the depths that it goes into it, because like she had all these closet full of clothes, shoes. You don't think about these things because we all just popping around life like we're gonna be here forever. No, you know. So I donated a lot of stuff, you know, to a young man that she was mentoring, and then the rest of the stuff I gave away, you know. But it's really heart wrenching when you lose somebody, and she died in 3 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks. She was diagnosed with COVID. 3 weeks later, gone. Yeah, true story. And she was the only child to her mom, so it was a lot. And she had a nice Mercedes because we always was fancy. We were fancy. So I drove the Mercedes back to the dealership. There's a clause for that too. It was a lease. So there's a clause that if the person passes away and has a lease, they no longer have to pay it. You just have to, you know, return.
Return the
A lot of
vehicle.
people don't know that either. You know, I learned it. So I try to teach everything that I can. Because are you
Right.
still in New York? You said you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas. I'll be back to New York when y'all weather gets situated over there. Okay.
I'm not mad at you. It's so
Y'all
cold.
wasn't doing something crazy. I'm looking, but to be honest with you, I woke up this morning, it was 26 degrees out here. Earlier in the week, my girlfriend out here called me and she said, yo, New York, you better take your ass back East Coast because you bringing that crap up here. She said, Texas ain't never been this cold. You came up here and you brought all of that crap with you.
That's funny.
Yeah, she did. And I know because I'm hearing people say, I never saw snow, and I'm chuckling to myself. They was outside sledding on the highway. Highway shut down, dread, for about
That's too.
2 inches of snow. Bro, the highway was shut down.
That
They
is funny.
sledding on the
You're
high.
so cute. God bless you. You're so cute. You make me laugh. But you look so pretty when you smile.
Thank
You
you,
really
thank you,
do. God
thank you,
bless you.
thank you, thank you. No,
I want
I
to share one thing, just one quick thing. Someone who had this Roxanne, she's this beautiful soul. She survived a stem cell transplant like me, and she gave me a gift of the New York City Cancer Foundation that gives out $2,500 grants to people that either survived. And remember, I survived 10 years ago and I got approved last year and I got approved this year for $2,500 only if you qualify. So the qualifications is basically whatever diagnosis you had with cancer, as long as you could prove it from your doctor, and
right,
you meet the criteria as far as the income, which most of us do. You know,
right, right.
most of us do. If you're making like a ton of money, then of course
Yeah.
I think it's like over 75,000 or something. But under
Okay.
that, you pretty much. So what they do is they have you apply. You give like 3 months of your bank
So
statement.
you know what? What I
Yeah.
want you to do, I'll continue talking
Yeah.
about it, but give me the information and I'll put it up on this video so
Okay.
that people will be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a little, and also before you jump off, I want you to talk about your nonprofit. But go ahead, tell me about this cancer
Okay. So
stipend.
the 2,500 was given to me and a couple of my friends. I've helped people with the application. Like you could do it online or you could mail it in or whatever. But I think it's great because it helps us pay no medical bills, but it'll help you pay your rent. It'll pay, like if you have a car, insurance, anything that's in your name, they will send the checks to them. So that month, whatever month you're having, if you want to get relieved of some bills, because it takes about 30 days to get approved. But once
Okay.
they approve you, they quickly send the checks, and they really are helpful. New York City Cancer Foundation. So
Yes.
I pray that in the future I could donate to them big time. I'm trying to use my shows right now to donate,
Yes.
you know, but in the future I want to do it even bigger because I love this program to keep going because it's helped so many of us. And the last thing is once you approved, they also give Uber rides, I think for up to a year to and from your doctor's appointment, which
Oh, that's
is
great. Yeah.
so cool. I've used it. I'm like, I've never seen a service so cool. So I just want to make sure that I bless forward with that information. So, also, you wanted to ask me what was the last thing? A nonprofit.
Yes, let's talk about your nonprofit before we jump off, please, please.
Okay, so
And
right.
then don't forget, before you stop, before you get off, get out all your information where they can get you, if
Okay.
where you're going to be performing,
Okay.
where they can get in contact with you if they need a singer,
Oh yeah, let's go.
because you're a singer,
I know, I know.
you
I'll
could,
say a little something before I get off.
yeah, all right, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So the nonprofit was given to me by God because I didn't know. I'm still learning. He kept putting it on
Girl.
my heart, and to start a nonprofit costs. So I didn't have the funds. I kept saying, I said, God, I literally got on my knees and I said, God, if you want this to happen, I need you to provide the income because I don't have it. Next
Means.
day, I got the money. It was like, I'm not kidding. God is doing
Wow.
something in my life. So I called it Living Your Best Life, just like the t-shirt. And the gentleman that helped me, his name is Thomas from North Carolina. I met him on TikTok. Super legit. I'm telling you, this man is no joke. As a black man, he's no joke. He has his own story. If
Okay.
you ever want to interview him, he's
Yeah, I was saying, give me his details when we jump off. Thomas,
amazing.
right?
And
Thomas?
he helped me start it. He's mentoring me through it, and so we can do after school programs. We can do cancer awareness. We can do music. We can do several things. So he said start with one thing. So far I started with the inspirational show because I didn't know what else to do, but I sing, and
Okay.
my voice seems to touch people and my story. So I'm doing singing and sharing my testimony and giving that in the inspirational show, and people are literally donating to my shows.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you can and people have to
Where are
understand.
your shows?
So the first one was in the next one is going to be, the first one was in a church in Bronxville. The second one is going to be in
Yes, you started to, yes.
yeah, the next one is going to be in the White Room in Mamaroneck this Saturday, February 22nd from 7 to 8:30, and that address is 707 Fenimore Road in Mamaroneck. It's called the Plaza Park Interiors. So it's free to attend if anybody wants to come. And then I'm doing open mics with my guy at Yummy's every Wednesday from 7 to 8:30. That one's at 706 Nostrand Avenue. So you'll get to meet me, and I'll be hosting that. And then the nonprofit is still growing.
Yes.
So, if anybody can donate to us, we appreciate it. We give back to cancer, of course. New York City Cancer Foundation is literally the one I want to give back to. They gave so much to me and my friends already. I've gotten a couple of people approved. So I'm really
Wow, that's great. That's great.
and wherever God takes it next, because like I said, I'm still a baby to this, so I'm starting to connect with other people that have nonprofits to kind of give me insight because I want to learn how to get grants
Okay.
for bigger shows.
Okay.
Me and my man could throw some shows. We could throw some shows, I'll tell you. But we would like them to be funded to give back to cancer and have all the information available. And then
Right, right.
the HIV too, I haven't touched on that as much as I did with the cancer because people
Mhm.
seem to equate the cancer more. They talk about that more. But I believe that the HIV equates
We
to
definitely going to talk because this is something that's bothering me personally, to know the amount of younger generations that's getting sexually transmitted infections. Things I'm hearing in alarming numbers. And it's just, so this HIV thing, I'm going to put you on to connect you with an organization that does things with youth.
that would be awesome.
And I'm going to connect you with that. And we're going to have some talks about this nonprofit thing after you come off. Maybe I can help you with that as well, because I've been there trying to figure things out on my own. And I know that it definitely sucks. So, maybe there's some questions or maybe some tips that I can share with you, some mistakes
I
that I
know
made.
Thomas has can get funding for anyone that has like a mental, like the mental health stuff.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
can get you funding for that. Like if you have professionals in place and you want to start something like that, because I put him on the phone with other people that have nonprofit.
Okay, okay.
So if that's something that
So
you're
again, I'll get his details
okay.
afterwards, and I'll give him a call and let him know that you had recommended him and his services. You never know. You never know.
No,
You
what
never.
God, whatever God has is
Yeah.
this
You
was
know.
divine purpose, because I went homeless living in Canarsie, and I really didn't want to be there, but it was the only place that my aunt took me in because I lost everything and my stuff was in storage. It wasn't
Right.
easy. Like
I know.
it wasn't easy. I couldn't bring nothing there, like really, except like a couple of clothes. So thank God for public storage. I was around the corner. So I was able to walk to the. I don't know if you know that one on Rockaway, but
Okay.
I'm glad that God delivered me from that place because I wanted my things back. My personal things that make me feel happy. My bed. I couldn't even bring my bed there because it was too big. Like just certain things. So I know that everything in life is steps. But I tell people, anybody listening, don't give up. I don't care what you're going through, don't give up because your story is not over. It's not
Right. That's right.
over.
That's right. And you can't say when it's over.
Nope, you cannot.
You can't quit on yourself. You can't quit on yourself. You got to live your best life every day. Rain, it was a pleasure having you. It was a pleasure having you. It's always a pleasure to be, where I can smile.
Yeah,
Where
amen.
I can smile. You really bring out happiness.
I
You know,
can't believe that you wore that shirt.
I,
That's so cool. I don't
I'm
want to be
telling you.
sad. It takes too, they say it's easier to smile. It takes more energy to frown.
You
So I
know,
want to keep smiling, like until
you
God says,
know.
Rain did a good job and I'm calling you home. I'm like, bye y'all. I'm out of here.
What?
I'm not even, see, when we like this, we not even afraid no more.
I got my foot in the air already.
That's a whole shirt.
Superhero style. But girl, I love you.
I
Thanks
love
for coming on.
you. Made my day, actually.
Continued success in every area. Tell your boo, y'all doing great things out there in the community. We're gonna link up with, there's a couple of things that you dropped that I'm really interested in piggybacking off of. You know me, I'm like a tick. I'm stick myself onto anything anybody got going on that I'm interested in.
Okay.
So all the best, girl. All the best. All the best. You a
Thank
true
you. You too.
trendsetter. You continue doing what you're doing. And, there's platforms out there waiting for your story. Please, please, please continue to share. Continue
And
to.
connect me with the kids, please. I would love
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. Girl, you ain't even got to worry about that.
All right.
All right. You take care. Don't
Thank
jump off.
you too.